Yeah.
Knock It Down podcast.
Scared me.
Episode 136. Cat's ready to pounce. Obviously playing on Steve and Shroom's cats. Also Minnie, who sits on a windowsill and looks like a cat sometimes, although she's 195 pounds of fat. I'm your host, like me, 100 pounds of fat. I'm your host, Bill Dean. I'm, of course, here with my two
100?
co-hosts, Schwim and Little Steve. Well, there's muscle underneath this. There's also bone. It's
Yes.
100 pounds of fat.
It's not fat, it's power.
No, there's fat. There's fat and power. We're brought to you by Sam Wu and Primetime Radio. I am Behind the Glass. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you'd be so kind. Gentlemen, what are we drinking?
I'm finally having this wonderful beer that Schwim picked up for us a couple weeks ago from Nightmare.
Did you give me mine, Shrimp?
No, I still gotta give yours. I got yours in the fridge.
Cool.
Which you probably had on this before. Oh, okay. I just read the recycling thing. I just read the recycling thing. This is Blood Eagle, which Schwim probably already described before. Scandinavian-style sour ale with Danjou pears. I can't read that word. Lingonberries, hawthorn berries,
Nice
cloudberries. Didn't know those existed. Tart cherries with strawberry and plum. It's weird that they said sour ale with, listed these fruits, and then also said with strawberry and plum. Like, why wouldn't you just put that all in with the first with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They wanted to distinguish the cherries from everything.
Cherries and plum.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I do like cherries.
Anyway, artwork very cool.
Tis.
And
That's their
gruesome,
third version of that beer.
Canned April 2023.
There you go, guy.
Now, what's the
Distributed
difference between
by
these
12%.
versions?
The artwork.
Oh, it's the artwork.
I think
is
it's
the
the
difference?
artwork, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have a different style to it. They just kind of change up the artwork as far as I can tell, which is pretty cool.
Tis. It's a very barbaric ritual they're showing up.
Now, do they have one artist, a series of artists, or do they have different artists for? Is each different artwork for each can release a different artist?
Just for people who's tuning in to start. So we obviously do our beer reviews in the beginning, or we give like what we're drinking. It's always a
stay with us. We will talk about hockey.
Yeah,
we will.
But we kind of give a brief description of some beers we like, recommend to try. And Nightmare does these really cool. Obviously, the beers are really good, but their design work on their cans is one of the tops. So that's what Steve and Shroom are kind of discussing.
Yeah, the artists for a lot of the ones lately, it's been the same artist, but the guys have had different artists for different releases. But lately, it's been the same guy doing all the stuff. And I saw the artwork for the next one, the Saison that they're releasing next. Same artist, and it looks friggin' awesome. I already saw it. He showed me a quick picture of it, and it looks really, really cool. So. Yeah, whatever artist. I don't. Is it on the can who the artist is or anything? But
no,
it might be on the website.
I was seeing if there was credit given, but I didn't see any.
I think it's on the website. The credit, but yeah, they've used a couple guys, but lately it's been the same dude, and it's been pretty freaking great.
Yeah, they have good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've had a couple stouts where you taste, you're like, whoa, that's a stout. But for the most part, these beers are tasty. They have great flavor, and they're not overly sour. They're not overly fruity. You could get a little bit on each side. Right?
They're very well balanced. That's for sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
The first sour, one of the first sours that I had was I think one called Glasgow Smile that I had at friggin' what's that place that's by Brett? Was it
Cloverleaf?
Cloverleaf, yeah. They brought out the can for me because I didn't know they were going to do it. They brought out that, and I'm like, damn, this friggin' artwork is nuts. And the sour was friggin' delicious. Ever since then, I think I've been hooked on them.
Cloverleaf, another good place around here.
Now, I'll ask you guys this. Is it ironic, is this irony, that it's distributed by 12% Brewing Company?
Mm-hmm. And it's 12%?
And that's also their average alcohol volume per beer.
That's Wait, their
You can
average
say it's not.
alcohol
It's not irony.
beers. No.
I was
But their
waiting for
average
you to say
alcohol content is 12%.
Probably not. I'm
no,
saying
but they have
have.
ones that are very high. Their stouts.
Oh yeah, they
are
do.
friggin'
I'm
ridiculous.
was gonna say-
exaggerating, but I don't think by that
Okay.
much.
No, I thought you were actually saying that as a truth. I was like, holy crap, they're that
No.
that high.
This is
That's pretty
this is 7.5%. So this is
Yeah.
the
I
other
brought
one
that,
that Swim got 10.2. So I'm gonna skip
Yeah.
that one for tonight.
The other one that
Yeah,
you
temp-
couldn't have that I brought to Dean's house, I think when we were watching,
Yeah.
was it the night we were both watching the Tampa
Yep.
and the Ranger games?
Yeah.
That thing was like
Yep.
20, almost 22% or whatever the hell it
Yeah,
was.
that thing
And
was
it looked
really
like
tasty,
that was
huh?
gasoline.
it tasted it looked like straight motor oil. It was friggin' so
Yeah.
thick and dark
was.
and it was good. There's no way you could drink. Obviously, I was done. What we all split one, and I was good with that. It was pretty good,
Yeah.
and I don't even like stouts, and it was friggin' pretty damn tasty.
I would love to sit with like one of those the beer testers.
Yeah,
Oops,
Yes.
someone's barking. And have them pick out like there is a lot added to this beer, and gives it a very unique but really good flavor. But I would love to sit and hear them just like pick out every fruit that's in here. I think that would be very
Yeah.
interesting because I can't I can't specifically name a single one of them.
Like just give them the beer and let them just go through each thing that's in there and see if you could if they peg it like down pat. Because some of these guys are their palates are so good, and they could just taste test everything.
Oh, there's cloud cherries in this. Oh,
Yeah, imagine.
what the frig did you know that?
Is that elderberry?
Lingonberry, I think
Lingonberry,
I'm
that's-
feeling on the back of my tongue.
I'm
Yeah.
tasting cloud, maybe Lingdon, but I'm leaning towards
Notes
cloud
of
and Lingdon.
Earthy tones and yeah.
With the
Schwimmer-
mouthfeel of D'Anjou pear, I think
Yes.
I can taste in there.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think I remember. There's some really good pears that my work gets from like Japan each year that a vendor brings in.
I'm going to guess this is French. I'm
D'Anjou.
completely guessing on the pronunciation of this, but I'm going to guess French.
Yeah.
I could probably Google it.
Probably.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Top pears. I'll even look up top pears.
I mean, you can continue. I'll look up damn
we will.
pears.
D'Anjou. D''Anjou.
Right.
And then the ones that we get from Japan, I'm trying to remember, are like not Comtois.
The hockey player?
Yeah.
He's got a pear named after him? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's an Asiatic pear. I just forgot what it's actually called. Anyways, whatever. Shrim, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking an old new reliable, I think.
Is
Citrus
it also
Squall.
Nightmare?
No.
Very nice.
Good old Citrus Squall.
Citrus
I got
Squall.
like 2 of these left, so I'm trying to go through them.
So as you guys can tell, Shorts Guy's not with us, our other co-host. Shorts Guy
He's passed on. Oh,
Jersey
he's moved
right
on.
now.
I mean,
Oh, he is. Where is he at right now?
he is down at. Is he? Yeah, Mudhen is having the. Mudhen
Oh, it
was
is
having
Mudhen.
I guess they do some kind of partner local to them breweries. Well, even though it's Delaware, it's still very close. You just take the ferry over. They're having they had Citrus Squall on tap, as well as I think a couple other. He has to tell me the rest of the Dogfish on tap. But yeah, it sounds like a great time. I was going to try and go, but work.
Yeah, work gets in the way of a lot of things. All right, quickly for me, last weekend we went to Bolero Snort, and they're in a collaboration with, it's called Evil Water, and they do a hard fruit juice. So this one is blackberry and passion fruit, but Bolero Snort, we've all been there. They go, very fruity on their beers, sours. They have lagers. They have a whole shebang. It's usually pretty good. But they tried this. They have this new thing called Evil Water on there. If I forget to give it a try.
Let us know how it is at the end of the show.
It's delicious. Yeah, it's delicious. It's carbonated water and it tastes like fruit. I mean, this is up my creek. 4.5%. So
There's no
Probably
way
drink
it's
a lot of
pronounced
these.
like that unless you're like a.
What do they pronounce it?
Robotic voice is just saying Danju, and there's no way. All right,
man,
I'm done. I'm done with the pair. All right,
That
moving
system
on.
was made in America. That's why.
Made in America. Yep. All right, let's get to what's on tap for today's episode. Here's a weekly snapshot. Knights versus Panthers, Stanley Cup Championship. We obviously missed last week, Memorial Day, right? What was Labor Day? Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
And
And there goes all the veterans that were listening to us.
Yep.
They don't want to hear us anymore.
Yep. Obviously, we said Florida Panthers, Las Vegas Golden Knights. Right now, it's going to start game 2. Vegas is actually coming out of the tunnel. They're up 1-0 after a 5-2 win on
Coming
Saturday.
out of the helmet.
Coming out of the helmet. They seem to, you guys tell me, they seem to dominate the Panthers in the third period. The Knights, but it was fairly close up until that point. Aiden Hill with a ridiculous paddle save on Nick Cousins. Bobrovsky, 29 saves. Obviously, him and Tkachuk, maybe the front runners for the Conn Smythe. With on the other side, who would you guys say are the Conn Smythe favorites for Vegas? Probably Eichel and
I think
Hill,
Hill and maybe even Marchessault. He's been playing freaking awesome. But I don't think he's going to get that kind of love. But I think they're either going with like their big star and Eichel or the goalie. If it's going to be a Vegas guy.
I think it's going to be. I think it's really going to be whoever stars in this series. If they win, whoever leads them through the series, I think will.
Yeah, whatever team wins it, it's going to be. It's
so
not.
If Aiden Hill has a great final, then I think it's him.
Yeah.
So right now,
Bobrovsky. If Florida wins, it's got to be Bobrovsky, even if he has an okay series. I think just what he's done so far, and it'd be Florida's first ever Stanley Cup, and
although I will say. Rupe Hintz, so he leads the league right now in points with 24, but Tkachuk is 21, and then Eichel is 20, and those are 2 and 3. I heard this on, I don't forget what podcast it was, but apparently a goaltender has never been the first person to receive the cup after the captain. I think the closest people, the closest people were Marty Brodeur was 3. Patrick Waugh was 3, and then Dominik Hasek was 3 as well. That no goalie has directly received it, and I was just thinking, like, could Bob be the second person to take it after
Barkov?
Barkov holds it up.
Part of me wants to say
I could see that
probably, although he's won one before, but I would say
Bob,
possibly Eric Stahl. Because they like to give it to the veterans, right? When they
what they were saying is, what if you saw Mark Stahl take it first and then hand it to his brother?
I could see that. It could be that, yeah.
Because Mark Stahl's. But
you could have. You also could have Bobrovsky in there, but it could be. Yeah. It could be Mark Stahl, and who knows, right? I don't know. I don't know what they think. I feel like it's always like the vet who hasn't won before, and Bobrovsky is kind of the vet who hasn't won before, and he's had
I think
a lot of accomplishments. So it could be
if they win.
Yeah, it could be,
or it could be
Eric
Ryan
Stahl's
Locker,
already won.
It could be way off.
Yeah, or someone else.
Some jabroni.
I did read, not that it has much to do with it, but just based on former Pittsburgh players that are on Vegas now between Kessel and Bluger. If Bluger doesn't play a single game in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it then becomes up to Vegas whether or not they can petition to get his name on the cup.
Yes.
I don't know that they would. A trade acquisition that was routinely a scratch.
Yeah.
So that'd be something, he hasn't won a cup before. He didn't win Pittsburgh when they won. So
53 names get to go on the cup. So
you need to play 41 regular season games or
a Stanley Cup
game. Or Stanley Cup playoff game.
Yeah.
No, a Stanley Cup final game.
I think it's a final. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to play that. That gets you on the cup. I don't know if the team has a say as to whether or not, if you play one, if Bluger plays one game, I think they can probably still. But if he doesn't meet those requirements, they have to petition to get him on there.
Look who it is.
And I don't know.
Melvin,
are you watching this? You see this?
Yeah.
This
Wow.
put together human being. He's got shoulder implants, even, I think, at this point.
Wayne Newton. Wow.
Wayne friggin' Newton.
He might have a heart attack just doing this.
He's got jet black hair, the
Wow.
whitest teeth you've ever seen in your life, and he's friggin' 80 or
his
how old is he? He's got to be in his
That's an
80s.
that smile is set. He can't even unsmile if he wanted to.
No.
Holy crud.
Is he still performing?
Yeah, probably. Sean Bob, 11-3, 232 goals against, 937 save. Yeah, Teddy Bluger, that's an interesting thing. What would they do? But yeah, typically the team has 53 names to put on. It includes, the coaches that are in there, the staff. Sometimes they put ownership. And then those players, there's roughly 25 to 27 spots from what I read that those players could be in there, and it's all by the team to see who they want to put in. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. And the game starts.
It's going to suck that if Vegas wins, Jonathan Quick's not getting. I don't think he's not getting his name on it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Right.
He's the backup
Because
right now.
he hasn't played 41 games, and he
Yeah, but
I don't think
isn't
he's
he
getting
backing up?
Stanley Cup.
Isn't he
backing
backing
up,
up
yeah.
Aiden Hill?
He's backing up.
Oh,
Does
I
that
guess
even
I
count?
guess if he dresses, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that
he
counts. Yeah.
dresses. Goalies
Even if he
dressing.
doesn't play, that counts.
Yeah.
But then you got to think about like Logan Thompson,
They'll
who played the majority of the season, right?
So
And
they might have four
Lauren
goalies.
Brossois, who just came in and played a handful of regular season games and then started the playoffs.
They could have.
Are they
going to
put all four
on the
goalies on?
list.
They could, but
They
would
could.
they?
I don't know.
Also,
And Robin Leonard. Do you put Robin
Leonard.
Leonard on there?
yeah, I was going to say, do you put Leonard on there? 5 goaltenders. I'm interested.
I have to think that they put Leonard on there because Leonard not only he's been there long term, and is by all indications is going to continue to be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would
think
think,
they would.
but 5 goalies on there, I don't know. They needed them all in some
There's
capacity.
no way.
So
There's no way they're getting all
they're all
5
pretty
on.
important.
There's
I
no
think
way.
they would because Brossois played in the playoffs. Aiden Hill, obviously. The backup, I would assume Quick has to be on there because he's technically in uniform for a game. That's 20. Yeah, I mean, Logan Thompson played. Did he play 41 games?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So that would be
probably,
4,
yeah.
and then that's the thing. Do you put your franchise goaltender who you're paying loads of money to?
Ooh.
I gotta say he's got to be on there. I think without question, I think he's on there.
Yeah, I would too. That's gonna be funny. 5 goals. Oh, so Logan Thompson actually only played in 36 games. So do they say, oh hey, you don't,
He
we're
might
not-
be down
Also,
now.
did he play or start 36 games?
started 36, played in 37.
Okay, but backed up in others, so he easily put in
no.
41.
No. Games for goalies, when you see games played, it includes your backups.
No, it doesn't. It includes that's appearances. That's you getting on the ice. I want you to find me a goal. I want you to find me a goalie who has 82 next to their games played.
But they wouldn't. They always wouldn't.
Well, if they backed up, sure, why not? If they were healthy the whole season,
what?
they either started or backed up, they wouldn't have 82 games played.
Ooh.
Games played means so he backed up. He either backed up, so he backed up and came in as relief. That's a games played.
Yeah, not if he's just backing up and doesn't get in. They're not going to count that as a
Right.
games played. Seeing more
actually-
red in
there's-
the crowd than last time. Is there somebody wearing a friggin' Flyers jersey? Oh, Jesus. I thought maybe it could have been the Vegas red jersey.
Yeah, I'll have to look this up because that is interesting. The majority of NHL teams run with 1 goaltender for most of an 82-game schedule, but a starter can't play every night, especially. We'll have to look that up. That's interesting. I never thought about that. All right, so quickly to the series. Vegas Golden Knights, the 1 seed. Florida Panthers, the 8 seed. Last Stanley Cup final appearance, Vegas lost to Washington in 5 games in 2017-18. Florida
Also won
lost
game 1.
to Colorado. Yep. Florida lost to Colorado in a sweep in 95-96, the year of the Rat. They've never won a Stanley Cup, so we will have a brand new Stanley Cup winner.
That's true.
All-time head-to-head, Florida's 4-5-1 versus Vegas. Vegas is 6-3-1 versus Florida. This season, Vegas won 4-2 in Vegas, and then Florida won 2-1 in Florida. They played twice. The top player, Florida, Sasha Barkov had 4 points. Verhaeghe had 3. Duclair had 3. For Vegas, Mark Stone had 4. Shea Theodore had 3, and then Carlson had 2. Aiden Hill lost his only game to them, but now he has a win. And then Bob was 3-1 during the regular season with a 934 save and a 201. So they've actually seen each other. This is career, by the way, for the goalies. So Bob's 3-1 career versus Vegas. Let's talk quickly about the series that just happened prior to this. 0-0, 1632 or 1652? 52, sorry.
52.
In the first. Tkachuk, his stats in the 4-game sweep of Carolina. 3 game-winning goals and a game-winning assist. So now he has 6 game-winning goals in the playoffs total. Schwim, do you know who leads the league in game-winning goals in the playoffs, in a playoff series, or in a playoffs
Active?
total? No, he's
Like
not active anymore.
this year, or you mean
No,
in all
over
time?
career. Yeah, all time.
Oh,
In one playoff series, so
Braden,
one
Braden
Stanley
Point.
Cup run. Sorry, no, one Stanley Cup run. It's not Braden Point, but it is a Tampa Bay
Damn.
Lightning.
Oh,
This gentleman won a Conn
Marty?
Smythe. No,
Oh,
Marty
Brad
did not win the
Richards.
Conn Smythe. Brad Richards.
Brad
He had
Richards. Okay.
7
Wow.
game-winning goals in the 04 run.
Damn.
So Stevie Guy, not a Penguin, I don't think, but a former Star. Can you name the guy who has 6 game-winning goals in a playoff for the Dallas Stars when they won the Cup? I gave your
When they
brother
won the
his
Cup.
autographed stick.
Newendike?
Did you?
Neuendijk. Yep.
Nice.
Richards won the Conn Smythe over Hobby Bullen, which eerily similar to
Breakaway.
what we have here. Hobby Bullen, obviously. Oh yeah, you are
terrible.
ahead of me.
Oh, sorry. I'm on TNT.
Hobby Bullen.
Oh, Joey. Make
did
sure to
Joey say?
Venmo me $7 for your chance at the Schwimm sweepstakes tomorrow.
$7?
No, I think it's 6 now.
Oh, Jesus.
7 after next week, though, or after tomorrow, if you don't, when
if
you
I
don't
don't.
score.
Pretty much. Pretty much guaranteed.
But I was going to tie in this because Brad Richards and Hobby Bullen is eerily similar to right now this Tkachuk Bobrovsky, where Tkachuk is lighting it on fire and he has these awesome game-winning goals, but you have the goaltender that's playing really well. Hobby Bullen did that for Tampa back in 04.
He sure did.
Really, the only reason Richards won it is because he had 7 game-winning goals. I mean, you have that many, you gotta, there's something. So, I know you guys said you would think Bob, but does the game-winning goals aspect, if they were to win it and he gets one more maybe this series, does that pretty much put Tkachuk over the top?
If he keeps going, I think he gets it.
He needs the better game one. He's better than game one. I mean, if he continues like he did in game one, and he's somewhat absent for the series, then it's obviously going to Bob if they win. But if he keeps it up, and because he can potentially take the points lead too.
Yeah,
it's a real thing that he could lead the playoffs in points at the end too, and that's not nothing. So
no, it's not. You talked about it, but Vegas really got under his skin in game one. Haig and some other guys, a big hit by Reinhardt. That was Bennett. Haig, getting under his skin. He got a nice check. He punched him in the face, and they got the misconduct and thrown out of the game. But yeah, Tkachuk needs to be better. Panthers, the only team in the expansion era to make the Cup final after only being in a playoff spot for less than 30% of the regular season. So they didn't have a playoff spot for quite a long time, and they're the only team to do that where they, now are in the Cup final. Did you guys see this? There's multiple articles on what a panther is. I guess they
Why?
needed this because people don't understand what a panther is. So there's ESPN posts articles, and all the other sites are posting
Oh
articles
God.
about the difference between a panther and a puma and a mountain
And a
lion
jaguar.
and jaguar. Apparently, your people have zero clue. Very
Wow.
funny. Really, actually, did you know this? A panther, a puma, and a mountain lion are all the same thing.
Yes.
It's
Um,
Are you
pronounced
asking me?
puma.
Are you asking me are you asking me if I knew a fact about a cat?
No, I'm
Yeah.
not asking you. It
Okay.
was
Yeah,
really
you
just
high?
overall for everybody.
Hi, bro.
Yeah, hi, bro. Yeah, essentially, they're all over the same region from Canada all the way down to the Mexico area. So
The more you know.
very good. More you know.
Did you know that?
Um,
Did you know that there's an actual superhero named Puma Man?
I do.
Or is it
I've heard of it.
Pumaman?
So,
One of the greatest
I gave my brother.
MST3K episodes ever. If you're
Yep.
a fan of Mystery Science Theater, seek out that episode and
Yeah.
watch it in its entirety. It's friggin'
So
fantastic.
you guys know AJ's a big comic book guy. So I got him books of the best and worst characters in Marvel, and obviously Puma Man is one of the guys in there. Is like worst name and worst superhero.
I guess there's another Puma Man, not like the Puma Man from the movie.
No, it's a he's actually in.
He's a Marvel character, or just
Yeah. Yep.
some other company.
Marvel.
That's interesting.
Did you know that Sergei Bobrovsky in Game 1 lost 20 pounds? Oh, sorry. Game 5 lost 20 pounds and usually loses 15 plus pounds every game.
I saw that, and they showed like a picture of him, and he looked like he was anorexic after all his equipment was off. It was friggin'
Bob
pretty
said
crazy.
his
Water
weight fluctuates
weight?
like
Yeah.
crazy due to the amount of water he drinks and how much he sweats throughout games,
Yeah.
especially during the playoffs. He'll drink an absurd amount of water to replenish and end up sweating almost all of it out. Needless to say, goalies are a different breed. During an interview a couple of years ago, Andrei Vasilevsky also mentioned how he loses 5 to 10 kilograms, 11 to 22 pounds every game.
Mm-hmm.
That they sweat that much.
I've seen ones of him too. Like after the game, he takes all of his stuff out, and he's lost so much friggin' weight. He looks so
That's funny.
so tiny. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see.
His name is
Is
Puma,
that it up
not Puma Man.
Oh, it's Puma?
Just Puma.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Spider-Man character, I think, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Puma anyway, so we'll call him Puma.
It looks like a couple guys are going after it. Going to have a power play for, I think, the
Two
Caps.
former Tampa Lightnings on the ice right now.
Oh, so yeah. So Schwem, name your two Tampa guys.
What two? Oh, what that are on the ice?
Yeah. Jam.
Marchessault and Verhaeghe.
Verhaeghe, absolutely. Now, the thing about it this way: if you are a member or a fan, oh, that was a cross check. If you're a fan of the lovely, who was that? Gudis just got leveled.
He got leveled by
Would they call
Barbashev.
a penalty on that?
I think they called some on Lomberg on Marchessault.
Okay.
I think so. I think he got him up high. I don't know.
If you're the Buffalo Sabres fans, who are you rooting for, Eichel or Bennett? Or sorry, Eichel or Reinhart?
Probably not Eichel. That's my
they
guess.
hate Eichel. I think so. I think they're all Florida Panther fans right now.
Poor Buffalo.
Yep.
Vegas has been in the league for 6 years and has made the conference finals 4 times and the Stanley Cup final twice. Vancouver, who has been in the league for 53 years, has made it to the conference finals 3 times and the cup finals 3 times.
They made it to the cup final, so they've won every time they made it to the conference final.
Yeah.
I mean, that's somewhat impressive, I guess.
Pretty impressive. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And now, because I'm hoping that this comes true, but the Eastern Conference champion, Florida Panthers, versus the Western Conference champion, Vegas Golden Knights, have one thing in common in the last 10 years. Their head coach was Gerard Gallant. And I'm just saying, if the Rangers just fired their coach, and hopefully maybe the Flames.
It took a
hire him.
while. It
did.
took Florida a
It
while
did.
post Golan.
Yeah.
I'll still take it. I will still take it.
And Vegas
You're
also
hoping for like
two more
2029
coaches,
or something?
right?
Yeah, 2029. Yeah. Hey, at least they're saying that there's a chance I could go to the Cup Finals sometime soon. We'll see who wins. If it's Panthers, then I feel a little better about myself. Paul Maurice versus Bruce Cassidy. I want to get you guys' opinion on this one. What effects do they have on these teams, just overall, where do you think that they do well for their squad, not just the coach lineups and all that bullshit, but Maurice with the, just effing breathe quote after game 1 loss. You see Bruce Cassidy's always, pretty mild-mannered behind the bench. What, these groups, do you think these coaches make that big of a difference?
Well, Maurice has been
They're
around
both first year,
a while.
and they're both first-year coaches with these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you usually get the best out of a coach in year 1, or mid-season. Whenever they come in, right? It's a new environment, atmosphere, whatever else. It gets the team, I guess, a little more motivated or whatever. But Schwim is way ahead.
Yeah,
I would appreciate if you wouldn't react.
I can't help it. My boy scored. Former Tampa Bay Lightning.
I don't know about. I think Bruce Cassidy's a great coach. He did amazing in Boston. So I knew. I had a feeling he was going to do well in Vegas also because he has another great roster. Paul Maurice, I had really no clue. I know he's had success, but
yeah,
he's another one of those guys. He's bounced around a bunch of teams and
he up and just left Winnipeg. You didn't think maybe he was going to take the year off, or you had no idea what the hell he was going to do, and then all of a sudden he's hired as the coach in Florida, and look what he's done.
You're starting to see why. What a disaster, right? With Winnipeg. We won't get into that again. I don't. I assume, like I was saying, I think a lot of it. Like I think these first year coaches do very well. Or I'm sorry, not in their career, but first year with an organization, I think you see them do their best. So, Maurice came in and he already had a President's Trophy winning team / roster. They lost some guys, whatever. But and then Bruce Cassidy comes in, and Vegas has been. They just missed the playoffs, so that cost Pete DeBoer's job. But tremendous amount of success in Boston prior comes in, new environment, new coach, players are sold. So, after a while with coaches, it's hard for a coach to coach as long as like John Cooper, Mike Sullivan, and continue to have success because with the same players, because sometimes these players just, shut it off. So I think a lot of it has to do with that. The new environment, new atmosphere, and they can pump up their team still. And I think they're both probably equally as entrenched in getting their team motivated.
Is there one coach you'd rather have over the other?
If you were to tell me like, okay, Sullivan is no longer with Pittsburgh and I had to choose between Maurice and Cassidy, I would absolutely pick Cassidy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Cassidy's
really good.
Too. And you know what? It's funny because Boston, Jim Montgomery is also a very good coach, and I think we would have all said that, other than his personal demons with what happened, with the alcohol abuse, he could still theoretically be the coach in Dallas. He's that type of coach. He's very good, very smart, knows what he's doing. And I'm not saying Boston made a mistake because clearly they were, they won the President's Trophy. They were a very good team, and Jim Montgomery is a big part of that. But they fired a coach that won them back-to-back 50 games, 50 wins the last 2 years. They let him go this offseason. He goes to Vegas, and you can see now he has a pretty good hold on this team. And Vegas is very talented, just like the Bruins. They have guys like Jack Eichel who are healthy, and that's a big part of this too, that they have a stud, that they can count on to score goals. Jam is having a resurgence. He now has 11 goals in the playoffs. He's just behind Rupe Hintz with 13. Bruce Cassidy is one hell of a coach, and Paul Maurice, I've always kind of liked him from afar, with Hartford and with Carolina, and then he was where was he before the Jets? He was there was somewhere between the Jets and Carolina.
Yeah, I don't remember if he ever had he didn't have a stint in Philly, did he?
So he went from Hartford Whalers to Carolina Hurricanes from 95 to 03. He went to the Toronto Marlies. Then he was the Leafs. He was the head coach of the Leafs, remember, from 06 to 08. And then he returned to Carolina in 08-11. Then he went to Russia, and then he went to the Jets.
Hmm.
Pretty good.
Who was nominated for Coaches of the Year this year? Was it either of these guys?
Have.
It was definitely what's the face on. That's what I meant. Adams.
Montgomery.
Montgomery. I know that, right?
Montgomery was one.
I have the list. Hold on.
I feel like was Lindy Ruff? I don't even know if he was.
I don't remember.
List of finalists for Hart, Memorial, Vezina. Okay, so we can do this for fast. So the Hart is McDavid, Pasternak, and Kachuk.
No, just Jack Adams.
Okay. All right. Jack Adams was. Give me a second. You have to go all the way down to the bottom. Dave Haxtell from the Kraken, Jim Montgomery of the Bruins, and Lindy Ruff of the Devils.
So Ruff was him. All right.
Yep.
No Bruce.
Last year's winner was Daryl Sutter.
Yeah, and goodbye.
Yep.
And goodbye. Speaking of which, the last three Jack Adams winners have all been fired.
Like the following season?
Yep. They're all gone this season. I don't know.
Right, okay.
Because if I go quickly, Jack Adams, Sutter, Cassidy, Gerard Gallant.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the President's Trophy winning team usually gets bounced in earlier than they should. So you win the Jack Adams.
The year before that.
It's bad luck.
And then Tortorella the year before that. He got fired.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And Trotz won when they won the cup, because I feel like you see that not too frequently, the Jack Adams winner winning the cup also.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, what year was it? 16?
16. Yeah, because Trotz
won the cup
twice. Who won did he win in 2019? Because Trotz won in 2019. Was that 2019?
No, I think that was St. Louis. Wasn't it St. Louis 19?
And
Washington was the year before. So Washington was 18. Yeah.
Yeah, St. Louis is 19.
Well, Gallant won in 18, apparently. He won the President's Trophy in 18.
Right,
Adam.
That was with the Knights. Okay. Shroom, did you have anything on the coaches?
They're both really good.
All right. What's next for Dallas and Carolina? Quickly, Jamie Benn with the quote, "I wish I didn't fall on him and use my stick as his landing point."
Get the hell out of here with that.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Adam Ferentz where he gave the finger to everybody and said it was a glove malfunction. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Andrew Ferentz?
Glove.
Yeah.
Andrew Ferentz.
Didn't you say that?
I said Adam.
I heard Andrew.
Yeah, I said Adam. My bad.
But I think it's because I know he's Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. All-time excuse from Jimmy Benn, but yeah, the glove malfunction thing was pretty
there are quite a few Dallas fans who want his captaincy stripped.
Yeah, maybe.
And I mean, he had a good year. They certainly have. I mean, you could give it to Pavelski for a season, right?
Yeah.
But you have
Robertson.
Heiskanen, I think, would probably be the guy.
Yeah.
If I were to choose the Rupe too, but Heiskanen is like his ice time, his responsibility. Yeah. He is, he's Norris Trophy caliber, and he's often overlooked because he doesn't have flashy numbers, or whatever, but as far as matchups and ice time, and he's offensively gifted. He contributes a lot. He doesn't contribute like Erik Karlsson this year, or sometimes like the Roman Josis and the Hedmans. But I mean, that kid is
that boy good.
Is very good. I would say potentially
70
him, but
points.
Heiskanen?
He was I think for defenseman scoring, he was top 5 maybe.
He did well. I mean, you take Klingberg out of the equation, right? Because Klingberg was an offensive specialist, so you use him on the top power play because that's the guy's game. He can't play defense to save his life, but he can. He's great from the top. He's a great quarterback. So remove him, and he has a better offensive output.
Heiskanen, Dahlin, and Fox all at 73. They were tied for 6th. Montour had 70. Tied for 5th. Montour had 73 as well. Then Dougie had 74. Quinn Hughes had 76. Morrissey had 76, and then Carlson had 101.
101.
101. Jesus Christ.
I mean, if you look at Quinn Hughes is 23, Darlene 22, Heiskanen 23, Fox 24, Kale Makar 24, Vince Dunn 26, Sergachev 24. Like, there's a good group of young defensemen.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
and they're all
Wow.
offensive
Yeah.
minded
Well,
defensemen.
it's got to be. It's got to be both, right?
Yeah, they need to be. They have to learn or get better at the defensive side of the game. They can be kind of. Again, I'm not trying to toot my team's on horn, but Victor Hedman,
Oh, he's ridiculous.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome offensively and
I mean,
just as good defensively too. Like
Him,
you don't have to
him
worry
and-
about
him and
He's
Roman
special,
Yossi.
though.
Yossi too.
Him
yeah,
and Roman
Yossi's
Yossi are. Yeah,
friggin'
that's what you want to. That's what you want to model your game as a defenseman. That's who you want to be.
Yeah.
One of those two guys.
to me
Yeah.
for Dallas. And Yuri mentioned it. The player that screams to me captaincy is Pavelski. Like
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but he's only there
By
for another
far.
year, so
yeah, unless they I don't know how old is he? He's upper 30s now.
He's 39,
40.
I
Is he
think.
40 yet? 39 or 40? Yeah, he just signed 1 year extension.
Yeah.
So it's.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to give it to him. I mean, maybe you do, but
He's there
are they
for
going to
another
strip
couple
him?
years.
I mean, granted, this is just these are fans who want this to happen. Whether or not it actually happens, I highly doubt it. But I think they have a reasonable argument because it was.
Yeah.
First of all, he won't take responsibility for what he did, and it was one of the most untimely penalties he could have possibly taken in the entire series.
Oh, it was bad.
And yeah, it was. It's out of your captain. It's pretty much as bad as it gets. Not only doing it, but not owning any part of it.
Like if
Like,
any of
I
our
don't,
teams,
who is he trying to
Crosby
convince?
did that, if Crosby did that, or Stamkos did that, or Trouba, he doesn't count.
Would
He would do that. But like if we
Dick.
saw one of our captains do that, and I think those guys are stand-up guys would absolutely own up to it. One, I don't think they would do that unless otherwise provoked, but because I don't see them taking a stupid ass penalty like that right in the beginning of the game. But
right.
it's just to not own up to it either. Just like say like he was falling and I don't know. It's just
Are you
it's
guys
so
watching
bad.
this?
You're suspended for 2 games because you fell, and you're gonna be like, nah, I fell, but I'm suspended
Brandon
for 2 games.
Montour
for
is so
falling.
dumb.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Goes up high. This is the second time Marchessault's been blasted in the head, and I guess
Yeah, and
they got a penalty
and-
from it. Yep.
Duclair clearly had control. He didn't need.
What
all
is
he did was
Maurice
hit the
screaming
puck.
about? You see this?
I don't know. Should yell at his team.
No, he's yelling at the refs.
He's saying,
I'm
"Look
saying he
at it!
should be
Look
yelling
at it!"
his team. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to
It's
see
not a
it and
major.
see what
It's
was up.
a minute, right?
I don't know how that's
Yeah,
not a
it's
minor.
4 minutes.
They didn't give
I
him a
don't know.
major.
Minor.
I don't know how it's not a minor.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, nice to see him animated, I guess.
Boston obviously. Yeah, there was that thing. The first city to lose a home game 7 to an 8 seed in both hockey and basketball. Obviously, Boston lost to Miami. Boston losing to both Florida teams. So good job, Boston. All right, Stevie Guy, Kyle Dubas, president of Hockey Ops Pittsburgh.
Kyle.
Thoughts on that? I guess. Who do you think might be the GM, or do you think there's anyone in line? And when are they going to fire Mike Sullivan so he can become the Rangers head coach?
I think we've addressed that last one, so I'm not going to address it again. I'm happy. I've stated on this show that he was the guy I would have preferred out of the crop of GMs out there. I didn't expect president of hockey operations. I expected GM, but he is acting GM for now. He is in charge of hiring the next GM. Who that will be, I have absolutely no idea. And then, of course, how much of whoever he hires is he going to actually be, running the show, which I'm actually okay with. I'm okay. I like
boy Spezza.
Who?
I was going to say Spezza.
Spezza? You think he hires his boy Spezza?
Spezza, did he either re-up there or
no? He left.
Did he go somewhere else?
He left. But I heard he doesn't want to leave Toronto because he has young kids and he's a little worried about moving them. But
Right.
He's gone.
Dubas
He
was
did leave.
the same, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if he brings in Spezza and like kind of grooms. Maybe he brings somebody in to groom as. I don't. They're going to be called the GM, not the assistant GM. So who the heck knows? I don't know how it's going to work. I don't really care about the dynamic. I'll talk about that whenever they do it, and they'll have a press conference or whatever, and kind of give their explanations for everything. But yeah, he's got a lot on his plate. I loved his press conference. He was open about everything, and besides clear, obviously the priority is getting the cap under control, but number one goaltender, and he flat out said that's what they got to do, and that's what they do have to do. Although I'm not crazy about what he did with Toronto's goaltending.
Yeah,
hopefully this one will be better.
Connor Hellebuyck.
Maybe he'll bring Matt Murray back. Oh my God! Imagine.
Oh, that'd be great.
What a
great.
day that would be.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I'd have to stop what I'm doing if I'm at work. I'd have to leave sick and just
go
drive home
Steven
laughing my ass off. Find Steven. Oh my God!
I think I would probably have the same reaction. Anyway, there's a lot that needs to happen. Obviously, right now he cleaned house a little bit with positions that they weren't going to stay. It was just a matter of like whoever comes in, whether or not they want to keep them. But I'm sure they were preparing to not stay. I think it was like three or four positions or something like that.
Is any of the coaching staff different, or they all got retained?
I know Vellucci was interviewing, but I don't think anybody hired Vellucci.
Yeah.
And Reardon, I don't even know if Reardon was interviewing anywhere either. But yeah, as far as I know, the coaching staff is the same. There's going to be some different management roles there. But
cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's who I wanted. So obviously I'm happy about it. Am I like super excited about it? I have no idea because we'll see how he does. I liked mostly what he did in Toronto.
Yeah.
I think he had and not only that, I think he drafted pretty well, which is pretty important as also. So, and of course, he drafted pretty well, but of course all the scouts and everything, they have a lot to do with that. But yeah, anyway, I'll address it more, when he starts to make some moves and stuff, but I am,
Aiden Hill.
Yeah. Hill and Kachuk going at it.
Kyle Dubas did trade though in his time 5 first-round picks. He's has had some good late round picks, but he is a wheeler and dealer, and he'll do pretty much anything to.
Well, that's what you got to do. He's coming in. This is he does have to look to bolster the future of this team. But again, these management is coming in. This is not a rebuild. Okay, so hanging on to at this point, hanging on to first round picks, like they have the 14 overall pick this year. I mean, dish it for something. Whatever. Basically, I think they need to give Shovel Day off a blank check and just be like, give me Hellebuyck. Tell me what you want. Wow. I don't know if they have I don't know that they have the packaging for it, unless you're talking about first round this year, first round next year. As far as prospects, though, they really just have Owen Pickering from last season, and he's a developing defenseman, so who knows? But I wouldn't mind that, to be honest, because I still want to win now, and then deal with
Sidney Crosby and Malkin. Like you have to win now.
And they're still there. I mean, they just, and like I said previously, both of them just played 82 games this season, which is so rare. I don't expect to happen again, but and they produced at a high level. They're both still point per game. Crosby even more than a point per game, and they still have good players and Jake Gensel, and hopefully Brian Russ figures out how to play hockey again. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine if you trade your first round picks, get rid of them, and
all right, Steve,
get Hellebuyck.
I was looking at his draft record, and it's actually not good at all. It's essentially undrafted free agent Michael Bunting and Matthew Nyes. Some of these are actually really funny. So, of the 18 players in the Florida series, save for Matthews, Nylander, Morgan Riley, and Justin Hall, and Marner, 13 were either signed or traded for by Dubas while he was GM.
Woo.
There's hope for Nick Robertson. Okay, maybe he can do it. But these are the last trades that he had over the, and obviously I think he's got GM. This is funny to see this. So Toronto's traded its first round pick 5 times under Dubas. In 2019 as part of the Muzzin deal, not good.
That was
in 2021 as a part of the Nick Foligno deal, not good.
That was bad.
In 2022,
acquiring Muzzin wasn't bad.
Yeah, he's just been hurt. It just hasn't ended up well.
It hasn't gone well for them. Ooh.
But
yeah.
So in 2000, I have it right now. In 2018, he drafted Rasmus Sandin, number 29 overall.
He traded him.
Sean Dursey, number 52 overall. You're talking about trading. He drafted these players though. These are good. Yeah. These are good picks. And then you have a couple of other guys.
In LA now.
Yeah, with LA. Yeah.
That was a part of the Muzzin deal.
2019, Nicholas Robertson, second round, number 53 overall. And then some other guys who haven't made it quite yet.
Yeah. 2022, to get off the books of Peter Mrazek's contract, he did it the first along with that. Ugh. And then obviously this past year, Ryan O'Reilly, Noah Chari, which worked out. Ryan O'Reilly was pretty good, but
so was Chari. Chari wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Did you see that happen yet on your side?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 3 bodies that just went flying in the air.
I just went butt over tea kettle.
This game's loco. It was a good first
No
period.
other Leafs draft pick passed the first round since 2014. So Dakota Joshua or Pierre.
Two home runs in 2021. In 2021 they had 3 draft picks total, and 2 of them were home runs. And Matthew Nyes and Ty Voigt. And then you have a goalie in the 6th round who's doing whatever. But I mean, Ty Voigt looks great in the OHL. So
yeah.
That's not bad.
Maybe it's more his trades aren't. They're okay. Signings of Tavares, TJ Brody, Joe Thornton.
Well, if he can make a friggin' big trade to land the damn goalie, I think that's more than half the battle right there. They have a freaking good team. They just need a goddamn goaltender.
And this year, going out and acquiring Ryan O'Reilly, I think was a home run.
Yeah, that was a good trade.
Yeah, definitely.
The acquisition of Zach Hyman was great. Jake Muzzin, I think, was very good, but very costly.
Yeah, also just hurt. Yeah, that's a rough one. Now they're playing the new Flash movie trailer, which looks interesting.
Tavares signing wasn't great.
Doesn't look that bad.
TJ
Kadri trade wasn't great. Acquiring Nick Foligno wasn't great.
Good. Not good.
No.
And I guess in theory, not protecting Jared McCann, but because now you saw Jared McCann was there for a week.
Half year? Yeah.
No, he was there for a week. He never played a single game.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, Pittsburgh traded him to because Pittsburgh was Hextall was so convinced. He was so convinced that McCann was going to be taken. He traded McCann to Toronto to acquire something so he wouldn't lose him for nothing. And then they picked friggin' Brandon Tanev. Meanwhile, he protected Jeff Carter and Teddy Bluger, and look at us now.
Yep.
So I'm not going to call not protecting Jared McCann a loss on Dubas. Like this is a Hextall thing.
Quickly, Craig Conroy, GM in Calgary, Bradshaw living in Toronto. So you can only assume that Toronto versus Pittsburgh is going to be a fun little rivalry the next couple of years. Couple head coaching hires: Spencer Carberry in Washington. Mike Babcock in Columbus. Did you guys hear that?
Is that like official now or no?
Mike Babcock officially Columbus Blue Jackets head coach.
Okay.
That's awful. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to build from the bench out instead of like the back end out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
Andrew Burnett in for Nashville with Hines out, which a lot of people are unhappy about that.
Didn't Anaheim hire someone?
No. Unless it would happen in the last couple hours, I didn't see anything. But I just know that Rangers, Ducks, and Flames.
I thought they did. I thought Anaheim hired like some other team's AHL coach or assistant coach or something.
Apparently we missed. Connor Bedard. Apparently we missed Connor Bedard chirping Biz on live television.
Really? Damn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. They had him interviewing at the intermission. He said Said I'm sitting here amongst some pretty good players and Biz too.
Nice. So Greg Cronin takes over as leading man in Anaheim. It's first coaching gig.
Yeah.
He brings a ton of experience from the Colorado Avalanche Eagles, the primary AHL affiliate. Well, see, I was just saying that Columbus. So obviously Burnett, Nashville, Carberry, Washington, and then Mike Babcock in Columbus Blue Jackets.
Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, not good.
So who's left?
Smart.
Rangers and
Rangers and Flames. Flames.
So
That's
Quenneville isn't even. He's not even allowed to coach
Nope.
currently.
Yeah, apparently he's trying to see if he can come in and get
Him and
permission
Stan Bowman.
Yeah,
Him and Stan
from,
Bowman are still not
Bowman.
clear to take NHL positions.
Yep. So, I mean, Rangers. There's still. It's pretty much Laviolette, Hines, or a random. Which I'm hoping it's a random because I don't want either of those two. Patrick Kane, hip resurfacing surgery, which is not a hip replacement. It's just where they shave the bone down, put a metal cap over it. Out 4 to 6 months. He still wants to play and look for a long-term deal. Following his $8 by $84 million deal with Chicago. Speaking of extensions, Cole Caulfield, 8 years, 7.85 AAV. The guy has, I don't know how you could pay someone that much money when he's done almost nothing.
He had a good start to the season.
Yeah, but
before
just
going down.
Career
good
points.
for him for cashing in based on a small sample size.
Yeah, I mean, his career points is 123 games.
He's got to stay friggin' healthy.
Points.
The kid can snipe the damn puck. He can score goals,
Yeah,
but one
goals.
as of right now, that's about it. That's all he can do. But now he's having a problem where he can't stay healthy. He needs to somehow be able to stay healthy and try to, I guess, maybe round out his game. But he's friggin' putting the puck in the net. That's all they want. They're paying him to score goals. If he can do that for him and stay healthy, then good for them. I think they both make out because what's he making? Almost 8?
7.85. Yeah,
I think that's pretty good if he's leading the team in goals every year.
Well,
and they're only paying him $7 to $8 million.
A couple quick things. Clock running on Arizona. Bettman laid out NHL options for a relocation/expansion at the State of the Union address ahead of Game 1. Yotes will explore greater Phoenix area, but also Salt Lake City is a top option for relocation.
That's
also,
crazy.
Rumors of interest
Lake.
in Also, there's rumors of interest in Toronto having a possible another team. Houston and Atlanta. It seems like they're going to get Atlanta another team.
Atlanta's friggin' building a ridiculous stadium.
Yeah.
And just like, why are we going back to Atlanta? Like, did we not?
They're going to do 2 teams.
Lesson?
I think it's going to be either Toronto or Atlanta, and Houston as the 2 new expansion franchises. I really think that's what they're going to do.
So what are we going to? We're going to have Arizona relocate and then add 2 more expansion teams.
Yeah, 1 in the East, 1 in the West.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 2024 Stanley Cup Stadium Series. Stanley Cup. Just a Stadium Series set for MetLife in February. Debs Flyers February 17th.
2 games.
Isles Rangers February 18th. The thought was it was going to be Devils Rangers, but by splitting the teams, they could get more eyes on hockey in the tri-state area. Calgary's going to play Edmonton in the Heritage Classic, and the Winter Classic is Knights at Kraken in Seattle. 13th man.
Seattle. Already getting a Winter Classic. Goddamn, third year in the league. Already getting a Winter Classic.
You talked about Connor Bedard, Steve. Yeah, they do.
It's pretty good.
Connor Bedard sweeps the CHL awards, become the first player in history to win Player of the Year, Top Prospect, and Top Scorer at the awards show at the Memorial Cup. He's obviously expected top pick of the fucking Chicago Blackhawks.
For the Chicago friggin' Blackhawks.
Yeah. He had 71 goals, 72 assists in 57 games for Regina Pats, added 10 goals, 10 assists. Check this out. He had 10 goals and 10 assists in the first round loss in 6 games to Saskatoon. How bad was the goaltending? He had 20 points in 6 games, and they still lost.
I'm impressed.
Utterly atrocious. Also at the Memorial Cup, Patrick Waugh, who's a name for the Rangers, and I wouldn't mind him over Laviolette or Hines. But Patrick Waugh's Quebec Ramparts won the Cup over the Seattle Thunderbirds. Waugh now steps aside. Coaches is rumoring for the coaching gig from the Ramparts following a win. So it looks like we could have those gents up here pretty soon. A couple other things we could save for another week, but you guys got anything else before we head out?
Apparently Gibson has asked for a trade.
Well, that was kind of
officially.
I think he would.
And also the Kings have, they're radio guys. The Kings are now doing a one broadcast team who does television and also radio.
Oh,
So
that's
they'll
good.
just have the audio
Which is
version
interesting.
of the.
So it's going to
Yeah,
be, I think the radio guy is doing the play-by-play. Alex Faust is gone, and Jim
Oh,
Fox is
Oh, wow.
still there.
Yes, I don't know how that's going to play though, because obviously you can watch something on TV and you don't have to be as descriptive. But if you're doing radio, you have to continually talk.
I mean, they do. I mean, it's pretty chatty,
Unless-
the TV
Unless you're
guys,
Espo.
too.
You just
Pretty
grunt.
yappy. Oh, yeah. Tampa needs to think about doing that.
I
sorry, I
wish.
forgot.
One team.
Latvians win the IHF World Championship gold medal. They had 100,000 Latvians fill the streets to celebrate their country's first
Bronze
ever
medal.
championship.
Bronze medal.
Yeah, bronze medal. Sorry, bronze medal. They're very cool over the U.S. Obviously, the U.S. Good job.
Yeah, that's they win every game in the tournament except for the
bronze.
semifinal and bronze medal.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a
Amazing.
Casey
What a time to
Smith.
choke.
I mean, Casey DeSmith became Casey DeSmith at the right time.
Yeah, right time. All right, you guys got anything else?
goddamn Pittsburgh goalies.
Yeah, they're really amazing.
Till they get a legit guy in there. Friggin'
I'm looking at
assholes.
I am
Kurtz
looking at UC Saros too. My eggs aren't all in the Hellbook
That's-
basket. I would love him, but
UC
I
Saros
think
is going to cost you more than Hellebuck.
Yeah, I think it's more likely
way.
either
Not a chance.
Hellebuck
Because not only
Absolutely.
First of all, Hellebuck needs to be re-signed, and Hellebuck is going to get a contract similar to like Vasilevsky, which is like $9 to $10 million, which is kind of obviously
But
it's a lot. Saros has 2 years left, $5 million, very reasonable. But Nashville's in a rebuild. Askarov is going to be the guy. He's the best goalie prospect in the league right now.
That contract is gold, so you're going to have to pay a lot for that contract.
There's
$5 million
no
for a
chance.
starting goaltender?
No chance it's going to be more than Hellbuck. Not a chance. The
Yes, it
package
will.
will be more than
Absolutely.
Hellbuck.
I'll zone a bet on that one. Zone a bet. Those
I
two
mean, we'll
both
never
will be
find
gone.
out.
Zone a bet. Well, if both of them are traded, we'll know what is. Anyways, Schwim, beer?
Good old Citrus Squall 4.0. Let's do this.
Nice. Steven?
4.25.
Evil Water.
Yeah,
Very
guy.
good. I'll give it a solid 4.25 as well.
Your
Nice.
alcoholic water.
Yeah, fruit juice. Very good. What was I going to say? Sorry, play that show. Quickly, I'll take this one, Schwimmer. Wishing the best to my uncle. Hospital for lung issues, so also has Legionnaires. So hopefully he gets better, and praying for you, bud.
Get better.
Everybody
Get better,
else, we'll see you
Happy
next Monday.
40th anniversary to Mama Papa Dean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom and Papa. Love them. Love you guys. Adios.